Hey everyone, welcome back. Today our guest on Wonder Friends is Mr. Zack Snyder. So welcome, thank you.
Great to be here. I love your graphics.
know. Oh, thank you. My friend A-List actually did it. He's been on the show before.
Well, he did a great job because I feel like it's better graphics than I have. So it's
I'll let him know you said that.
real because it's real.
Thank you for being on the show. I know that you have been extremely busy. Well, just a little bit busy, maybe.
You've been busy today. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like there's something coming out tomorrow, maybe in a few hours.
Yeah, we're going to have, I don't know if you've heard of it, we're doing a little release tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Look for it on HBO Max.
Oh, got it.
I don't
I'll
know.
have to make sure to subscribe to that.
Yeah,
Never heard of it, but
I get it. There's other cool stuff there too, like you can see Rick and Morty and I don't know what else.
South Park's on there.
All right, you already sold me twice.
But yeah, no, I know that we have a limited time here today, so I have some fan questions and stuff that I want to get through. But also I kind of wanted to introduce the show. My show is focused on the Snydercut community, and the guests that I bring on, I like for them to tell the audience their story with the community. So it's crazy to me to think that like we're sitting here together right now and like the movie comes out tomorrow. So how are you feeling?
Me too. Yeah. I feel good. I'm excited for people to, look, now a lot of people have seen it.
Yes. It's amazing, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
But it's gonna be nice to just like for just everybody to just wade into it and I just think it's just exciting.
Yeah.
I sent my sister today to IMAX and Playa Vista to see it, and she just texted me because it just ended, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's crazy and so big," but it's really cool. We'll all be seeing it in that format, I'm sure, in the not too distant. So.
Oh, in a theater?
I would hope.
I hope so too. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you.
You and me and a couple other people, and we'll just check it out.
Have a great time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to bring up one of the fan questions here because these are like the most important things to me right now is to get these questions through. It's St. Patrick's Day, and Rachel, she actually wishes you like a good day on Twitter every day. It's awesome. So this is Rachel's question.
Hey Zach, happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm Rachel from Ireland, and I know you really like mythology, so my question is, are you interested in any of the Irish myths, and if so, would you ever think of adapting them into a film? Thank you.
Yeah. It's Cuchulainn has the one of the awesome Irish myths. I think I said it right. I'm sure Gaelic is not awesome, but the Irish myths are amazing, and it's a country very rich in mythology, and by all means, I think it's long overdue. Some cool Irish mythic movie that would be amazing. So yes, and I do plan. Debbie and I have been talking about taking a trip to Ireland. So
that's sweet.
That'd be fun. So
doing anything fun for St. Patrick's Day today?
Today, not. We normally have a lot of fun on St. Patrick's Day, but they've kept me busy all day with this premiere thing that we're doing.
Oh,
yeah. So, and you've been keeping me busy.
Sorry.
You're part of it. Big fan of Ireland.
Yeah. Let's get through another one of these fan questions. This is Jason. He has a question for you about the action sequences of your films.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, Zach? This is Jason, the rap nerd. Huge fan of your work. Huge fan of you as a person. And I can say your films changed my life, so I'm forever grateful. Anyway, outside of your visuals, your films are really known for the action. So I want to know, what gave you your eye for action, and what do you look to achieve when you craft these action set pieces? Looking forward to Justice League. Peace.
I don't know. I'm a kind of a slightly sporty dude. I play sports, and I think that you know, and I've always been fascinated sort of with physicality and athleticism and things of that nature. And I just think that being a sort of student of physical movement has sort of, that's where I think my, you know, sort of basic love of action and just how to photograph it and how to understand it, you know, where it came from. And I just have always, you know, I'm really interested in the human body and just the form, you know, and it's a thing I've, you know, I always, even when I did my earliest life drawing classes, you know, and it's weird, you know, for, you know, someone who's not out of high school, I took some life drawing classes, and, you know, this naked person comes into the thing. You gotta really, well, I guess I'm in art school now. But yeah, but then, you know, you get used to it, and it's like anything. But yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that's kind of where it started. And, you know, I've always been a bodybuilding fan, and sort of, you know, I don't know. I just like, I like humans. They're cool.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
Sometimes.
I mean, not to spoil anything for the movie for people that haven't seen it, but I mean, you have some amazing action pieces in the film. What kind of goes into that, like from start to like the finished product?
Yeah, it really depends on the action sequence. You know, we do a lot of, I'll do some early drawings and sort of sketches. Then we might do some lookup frames where I'll like say, oh, be cool. Just give me a couple, here's some big moments that I can sort of touchdown moments. And then I'll get with Damon, depending on like if it's a fight, you know, then Damon and I will kind of talk about, because I really like the fights. If you really analyze the fights, there is a story inside the fights as well. I'm always like, what is the story of the fight? Like, what is the beginning, middle, and the end? You know, how are we like, where's the drama? Where's all the things? Like if you pretend like each confrontation is like a little movie in itself. And that's how you can kind of build it out and make it and sort of track it too, because you can lose, you know, in the mayhem of the fighting, you can sometimes be like, what are we doing? Like, but like, if you always like are staying on the why of the fight, I think it's always that's kind of how I build them out, you know. And then we do some previs, starts to get more and more and more, you know, you have real shots that you're working on. So yeah.
I have a question from Philip. No, you're good. How about the warehouse fight in BVS? How long did that take to conceptualize?
Yeah, well, we started working on that right away when we knew. And then Damon and I did the same thing, but that's a real fight. So let's say, for instance, with that, because it's just guys punching each other, Damon and I would talk about it. We would even like, sometimes he and I would like, we do a little fighting. It beats me up. But then, you know, then he would go off and like just kind of work on some ideas, and then we would get back together again, and then we'd shoot some video, and then it took us. I think that was the first thing we shot in BVS. It was the first.
Oh, wow.
The first full week of shooting was just the fight, and we did that on Watchmen too. It was the Blake fight was the first thing in his apartment. It was the first thing we shot.
Oh, wow.
And I was like starting with like a really crazy action scene.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because a lot of producers, we've worked with line producers, have always said like, oh, we shouldn't start with the action, we'll fall behind. But I think Damon and I are so into it, and we love it so much. We always get a little bit ahead during that. So it's still like a week. I think we actually shot for a week and then a little more after that. So, you know, it's a lot of shooting for just that, whatever.
No, your action sequences are always so beautiful. And one that I noted during the film is like the Amazons during the history lesson. That, I mean, what is it like to be around such badass but feminine women at the same time? I mean, like you have a whole set of these women that are just like ripped and just badass. What is that like? No,
I'm a, you know, because like I think it goes back to what I was saying before. It's just like I like, you know, these kind of athletic people, and so in the world there's no shortage of athletic, strong, powerful women. So it's just frankly it's an honor to get to, you know, be around these awesome people and give them an opportunity to show off what they're capable of, which is anything you ask, really. So
I know I cannot tell you the amount of times I was watching it, and any time that the Amazons would show up, I literally had like chills because they just look so powerful. Like, I mean, they are extremely powerful, but like just their presence is insane.
And Dalton, is really good.
Yes. I have a question from another viewer who loves Wonder Woman almost as much as I do, probably. So here we go.
Hi, Zach. My name is Jaren, and my question is about Wonder Woman. When and where did you get the Sword of Athena from that we can see her using in Batman vs. Superman?
Sword of Athena.
Yes. Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Yes.
Well, it's funny because when we did that, of course, we hadn't done the Wonder Woman movie yet, right? And so we assumed that sword, because she's sort of she works for the Louvre and she's like constantly, let's say, maybe going to the odd, archaeological site from time to time. I just thought that she found it, in her travels. That when she saw it, she was like, that's the one for me. Like, because frankly, we had a whole, I'd have to look it up too. Like, I feel like we wrote out a whole backstory for it. It was basically along those lines. But that, in Wonder Woman, of course, she loses the sword, or it gets destroyed.
Turns to dust. Yeah.
So
I think that's cool because it kind of shows like her archaeology, like background as well, like kind of how in the movie, she's just chilling and brushing off statues. And in Wonder Woman 84, they kind of touched on that as well, where that's where she finds that golden armor is through her own like travels throughout the world. I think that's great, and it gives like even more of an independence to her. Like, she can go out and she just finds these powerful weapons.
100%. She has no, if it exists on Earth, she's probably one of the few people that could just track it down. Because also, let's not forget, she also knows, like, she can see it. I always thought it was funny that, she probably is independently wealthy only because, like, she could see a thing and be like, yeah, this is worth a lot of money. And someone else might be like, oh, that's a piece of garbage. She's like, okay, I'll take that if you guys don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, she probably very, amassed over the, whatever it is, 100 years, of sort of living among men, like pretty easy. She probably finds it pretty easy to use our artifacts and to sort of, I don't say take advantage of us, but like certainly use her smarts, and her.
I mean, she's 5,000 years old, so she's pretty smart.
literally. Like you wouldn't really be able to, match with her.
That's true. And then to get through our last fan question, this is from Julian. He's a big fan of Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, cool.
Hello, Zach. My name is Julian. I am a big fan of yours. Have been for a very long time, and a lot of questions that I've always wanted to ask you if I ever had the chance to do an interview on my own YouTube channel. But this one question that I've always wanted to ask is, how did you get the gig for directing the Dawn of the Dead remake that was released in 2004, especially to have that as your feature film debut? How did you get that film?
Well, a friend of mine, Eric Newman, who I had, who was one of the producers on Dawn, I had just kind of, just decided not to do the SWAT movie. And I was pretty sure that, that I'd been working on it for a long time, but then like they wanted all these changes and I just couldn't do it. And so it was kind of that decision, frankly, it was a big decision, and I thought it'd be a long time. And literally right on the heels of that, this script came along from Universal for Dawn of the Dead from Eric. He said, look, they lost the director. I forget who was supposed to direct it. It was the guy who directed what's the movie? You know, the movie's about where you cheat death and then death finds you anyways. What are those movies?
Final Destination?
Final Destination, yeah. He had directed the Final Destination movie, and then he was under contract to do another one. And so he couldn't do that. And so they sort of lost their director. And then it came to me, and I read it on trip. Basically, I read it on the trip to when I met Debbie.
Oh, wow.
Had it with me, and she had hired me to do a soft and dry deodorant commercial in New Zealand. And I read it, and I actually remember talking to her about it. And then when I came back, I went straight into another job, but I was like, this is cool. I think I can do this. That's when I started. Then I went in and pitched Universal, and I think, I was talking about the fast zombies, and they were like, that sounds all cool.
Sweet.
The next thing I knew, they were like, okay, let's do it.
What's it like going back to the zombie genre after so many years?
Oh, it was the funnest. It was amazing. And we really pushed it a little bit. Like I pushed it. I tend to do, but I think it's going to be, I think everyone's going to I think it's fun. I think it's a really, we really put some wrinkles in the old thing. So.
Can fans of Dawn of the Dead expect any maybe Easter eggs from Dawn of the Dead in?
I think there is one or two,
okay.
But it's, it's really just more of a general zombie acknowledgement, because it's, a different universe. So it kind of has its own thing, but there are a couple little nods, if you will. I won't deny my roots.
There was a nice segue in the comments here. Mick brought up the Justice Pledge that is going around on Twitter and Vero, all social media. So it is to go to the AFSP, and I wanted to talk to you about the AFSP. But the Justice Pledge is you donating your ticket sale to the AFSP if you got to see the movie like in an early premiere, or in general, like if you just wanted to support the AFSP through that. It's been going on for a week now. But your relationship with the AFSP, can you tell me like how you guys have worked so well together and what the importance is to you?
Yeah, and the amazing, the importance to me is that it's as a charity, it's really to our hearts, and we really started just going on the walks. That's really I think Willow organized one walk one year down in Venice, or the next. I think it was that fall, actually. The fall of 2017, and we went on that walk, and I was like, wow, this is cool. And these a cool organization. And I think Willow actually had raised enough money where she got noticed or recognized by them, by AFSP, and was a regional fundraising champion, And I think it just naturally sort of sprouted out of that. It just seemed like a really great place for us to, get a sense of community and come together. And then out of that, we just started talking about what a great organization it was. And then I think the fans really picked up on it and started to just say like, okay, well, let's go.
Yeah.
And really it's been a great partnership, I think, with the fans and with our family, and the amount of money that that the fans have generated is unbelievable. And I think to this day, even the people at AFSP are like, their minds are blown by what you guys have been able to do.
It's crazy. It's like over $500,000 now, right?
Yeah.
And always the Autumn Snyder Fund is in a pinned comment in the live chat as well as down below, and that's over $60,000 now, I believe. Which just
and we only started that. You started that not too long ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. Yeah,
It's insane. But that's like one of my personal favorite parts of this entire fandom is just seeing how everyone like comes together, and like if there is an event, we all just put our all into it and we raise as much money as we can. It's just so great to be a part of that.
Well, when we do our thing in the fall, when we do our IMAX thing in the fall, that will be the hope. Is that what we do? Is we'll do the 3 movies in IMAX. And we'll do, I don't know if it's what we talked about, maybe it's 3 days or 1 day. We might have to binge it. I don't know how we do it, but the idea will be that like, we'll try and like get everyone who's coming, if I don't know what the price will be for we'll try and set a price for the weekend.
Yeah.
We'll give half of that money to AFSP and the rest to whatever it costs to put the thing on,
So don't spend your stimulus money yet, guys.
Yeah, because be ready, because you're going to have to buy a plane ticket and you're going to have to like get a hotel, and so it's going to be a big extravaganza. So be ready for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And because I know there's a lot of people that missed out on the first SnyderCon, so something like this after the film is out and being able to all sit together and watch this 3 movies together, whether it's in one sitting, which we could totally do one sitting.
We could totally do that. I mean, ideally, even if it was 2 days,
that
would be like, it'd be good to do like Man of Steel and BVS and then Justice League, or Man of Steel and then BVS and I don't know. We can figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Ideally, the ideal situation is 3 days, so we could do 1 for each and try and get all the people that made the movie together and just have a nice fun.
So everyone get your vaccines and save your stimulus money.
It's going to be great.
Those are the 2 things.
But
it was funny because
we'll look for some date in,
I
don't know, October maybe? I don't know. We'll see.
Around Halloween, that'd be fun.
Well, what's that?
Around Halloween would be fun.
Yeah, right around Halloween. That'd be nice. And of course we'll have a huge cosplay contingent, because that would be an amazing thing. One of the days we could do a huge, and I'll take, we'll set up some scenes and I'll take some pictures of guys.
All right, everyone, get your costumes, your stimulus money, and your vaccine.
Yeah,
we'll do this.
And it's on.
It's on. Yeah. And it's funny because I was, we talked last week and I had all of these questions I wanted to ask you, but now there's more and more interviews coming out. And today there was actually an interview that was dropped by the Hollywood Reporter, I believe, talking about Ryan Reynolds and his role as Green Lantern. How far did you get into that conversation with him? Because I know people online like Grace Randolph and John Garza were talking about it months ago. So how far did you get into that?
Well, the truth is we never really talked. And there was a time when, and this was a while ago, where, let's just put it this way. I thought that if there was going to be, so my idea was there were going to be, if possible, there was going to be a Green Lantern in the movie. And I'll talk more about this in the future. I don't want to do it tonight, but there was a Green Lantern in the movie. Spoiler alert, sorry. But then the idea, we started to kick around this idea, like maybe if we brought Ryan in, there could be 2 Green Lanterns in the movie. We could sort of suggest a little bit more of the core kind of concept. But, anyway, so that was kind of that's the reality. Mm-hmm. But, and it was a fun game to play with Ryan because he's up for it, and I tweeted at him today. I think
that was great.
And I just think that, he's a great sport, and, he's been nothing but, I like that he's supported the cause for a long time. And it's cool.
Yeah, I know. And he even tweeted that he still has his ring, his Green Lantern ring as well. So just saying, it could work.
He's like, I'm waiting.
Yeah, he's like, come on, man. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Redemption is nigh.
Yeah. And then you had a art exhibit in Dallas with some storyboards that were there. And I know that you had an interview with Grace Randolph where you mentioned that you have a new storyboard for a continuation of this current Justice League.
True.
Without, the people that didn't read those storyboards, I mean, it's out there. Yeah, I mean, they were spoilers. No. Is there anything, or how much of those old storyboards made it to your new storyboards?
I think you could say conceptually it's very similar, but a lot of the orders were changed. A lot of slightly different things happen, but a lot of it is similar. I mean, I could say in a grand stroke, it's similar. It gives you an idea. But yeah, it would be, I mean, no, it's an uptown problem. Let's put it that way. If we were ever in a position where I had to figure out how to, put it together, but I do know how, and we did do it. So, so
that's great.
I guess my point is only that, yes, there's a lot of great ideas, more than enough to go around. But I think that the Dallas exhibit is a really fun thing to look at, because it really it does give you a sense of the scope and scale that we were shooting for.
Oh, I know. Like the whole universe that you guys created just within those storyboards is insane. Like, was there ever an idea to bring in like some of the other new gods, like Big Barda, and
those would all of the new gods would be rolling with Starshine. I'm absolutely. I think in the full invasion, of Earth, I think you'd have to have, the Furies. I think you'd really have to go, like, full pedal to the metal with the new gods at that point, because like the third movie is a new gods invasion movie, really, in a lot of ways.
Oh, that's awesome. People love. I mean, personally, Barda is my favorite Fury. So if you could, in the future, if it ever happens, write that down, please.
That's cool. I mean, and I don't know. It's just a fun. It would, just in a kind of like, and that's kind of what the history lesson is kind of the ancient version of what that battle would be in the future. That's kind of why we did it, was to sort of set up like what the Defenders of Earth, what it looked like, because kind of like, I would say that in the world, the Defenders of Earth are also not united and don't trust each other. And even the Justice League is kind of now together, but I would say in general, the world is, as Steppenwolf says, they're at war with each other, and they're separate. And, and that's kind of what the movie in the end, the last chapter would have been about the sort of unification of the human race into like this, anyway.
No, keep going. I mean, everyone loves this.
But
no, you're fine.
Okay.
Well, and also in that Hollywood Reporter interview, they mentioned that "We Live in a Society" line was Jared Leto's idea. Was that specifically just for the trailer, or was there any situation where that would have made it into the movie?
I'm going to talk about, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but I'll give you a little bit of I'll give you this quick version, then I'll talk about it more in detail next week probably. But there is
I won't tell anyone.
Yes, there was a version of that. What I was trying to do was a second for the black and white version, for the charity version of the movie. I wanted there's a second ending of the movie of the Jared Leto scene, just slightly different, that included that line. Frankly,
it's an amazing line. It set the internet on fire for like 2 days.
Yeah, I know. The truth is it turned, it's in the moment. It's an either or moment, right? When Batman, at the end of this Batman, the Harley Quinn speech, and you either go we live in a society, or we do what we did in the movie. And I just thought it's cool that I live in a society and it's cool. And maybe one day we'll all see it. But I also did very much like the broken, the tricked, the vulnerable Joker that you see in what's in the movie. And so it's a trade-off of not getting the vulnerable Joker. You get the line and one other idea, which is cool, and I like it.
Yeah.
Because that's where Jared did it. He's like, let me try something. And he did that line. I was like, that's awesome. And then he goes, oh, I have another idea. And then, because like the way it was scripted was, he said, the way it was scripted, he said, I think the way it was scripted, he said, I'd have to look now because we did like 4 different versions. But I think he says something about like, who do you think cried louder, the boy or the girl, after something like that, right? And because I was just trying to like make him rude, at the end, like not, getting him back, trying to, because they're kind of like going like this, and I just wanted him to just give Batman one more shot. But then out of the blue, he did what he did in the movie, and I was like, no, that's cooler to see you like. And by the way, he didn't know he was going to do that either. He said to me like,
wow.
He was like, that was cool, like, because we were worried that, because I didn't want to, cut either of their balls off completely, right?
Yeah.
And so, you can imagine that there's a version of that where Batman says what he was going to say, or what he says, and Joker like loses the scene because it's so aggressive, right? And I didn't think it should end with either of them losing, and so he said when he tried the I just heard Debbie yelling at me. When he tried the other scene, when he tried the or when he heard the dialogue, he actually just like, that was a natural reaction, and he just did it, and it was awesome.
Awesome.
Hey baby, what's up? Oh, you do? I have an emergency meeting I have to go to, it looks like.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining us today. It means so much to me and everyone else, and the fans that you got to answer their questions. I know it just made their day. So thank you so much. And then you are on a stream later today as well.
Yeah. We're doing a little bit more charity work later on, and like that. So
awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Anytime.
And you're the best. And of course, I'll come on anytime.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye. So that was kind of crazy. So awesome for him to join us today. It's crazy because like I never, like when I made Wonder Friends, I never thought that he would pop in, or even like starting this journey in this community, I never thought that this was possible. So yeah, it's crazy. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Shoot, dang it. I appreciate that. Thank you, Nana. Thank you guys. You guys are going to make me cry. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. Make sure to check him out. I don't have the link to the other stream, but I'm sure you can find it on Twitter somewhere. Thank you, Max. But yeah, make sure to please donate to the Autumn Snyder Fund. It is in the pinned comment as well in the description below. And I will see you guys later. Bye.